Hello there. There are hundreds of thousands of people in the UK who are in a devastating situation now. According to official statistics, more than 13 million Britons were living in poverty last year, and around 4 million were in arrears on their electricity, gas, or even council tax bills. But things have only gotten worse since then. Over the past 12 months, the cost of electricity, gas, and food have risen dramatically, and Britain's standard of living has fallen at its fastest pace in 6 decades, by more than 7%, according to an analysis by the Research Institute Office for Budget Responsibility. The Resolution Foundation expects inflation and rising energy costs to push another 1.3 million Britons into poverty this winter, and the situation is already precarious for many. The UK press reports of an increasing number of people regularly skipping meals due to a lack of money. The annual food bill has risen by almost £800 as well, as studies have found. You remember eating or heating. And food outlets across the country report being overwhelmed these months, so food banks. And some Britons try to keep their electricity and gas costs down by eating by candlelight or not cooking at all. And others cook their food on disposable barbecues so they don't have to turn on the oven. And many borrow from unscrupulous loan sharks who charge exorbitant interest rates. And this winter is particularly bad for Brits, but poverty has been a growing problem there for many years, and society is far poorer than meets the eye. The UK may be the sixth largest economy in the world in terms of economic output, but wealth is very unequally distributed. A few months ago, the Financial Times made a country comparison that shows the extent of inequality in British society. Accordingly, the richest Britons have a similarly high standard of living as well-heeled Germans or Norwegians. But the situation is very different for the poorest 5%. The British at the bottom end of the income scale are significantly poorer than the average for the industrialized countries. Compared to the poorest Slovenes, for example, the poorest Britons have a standard of living that is around 20% lower. Britain is a poor society with islands of very rich people, concludes the Financial Times. In this respect, the country is similar to the United States. In London in particular, rich and poor are often very close together. In the bombastic glass towers of the financial district of Canary Wharf, in the east of the metropolis, the well-heeled quickly pay €6,000 a month for a three-room apartment. Only a few hundred meters to the north are neighborhoods that are among the most destitute in the country. More than half of the children in this borough grow up in poverty. It is hardly surprising that Great Britain is currently being shaken by the biggest wave of strikes in decades then. Unions are warning that even people with permanent jobs, such as nurses, often go to street kitchens and food banks because their wages are simply not enough to make ends meet. And even middle-class people are increasingly being hit by the cost of living crisis. We can always read about bankers struggling to get affordable mortgages because of high interest rates. And some Britons, however, are unaffected by such problems. The wealthier citizens have a good few years. The number of British billionaires has increased by a fifth since the start of the COVID pandemic, according to a study by the Equality Trust. A boom in the real estate and stock market triggered a veritable explosion of billionaire wealth. And nowhere else in Europe do so many super rich live as in the British capital. However, they are significantly fewer than a few years ago. For some time now, more and more rich people have been turning their backs on the island. The consulting firm Henley Partners reported a few weeks ago, and I talked about this, that around 1,400 millionaires left the UK in 2022. Many appear to be bankers who have relocated to continental Europe. And this is not least due to Brexit. That was also written by the London business paper City AM. After Brexit, many rich people are considering whether it still makes business sense to stay in the UK. And Brexit is a gift that keeps on giving, but that sounds quite sarcastic if you think about what Brexit is doing to the poorest people in the UK. There really has something to happen. And just using Brexit as a taboo nowadays and not even talking about it will not make Brexit go away. And the poorest people especially will suffer from that. Plus 12 years of austerity policy, but that's another point here. We were talking about Brexit. But Brexit is causing a lot of harm to the country, even if the heads behind this still don't want to admit that it is the fact. They probably never will. But reality is a B, because reality is showing you what's happening. And that's why I definitely will report on Brexit for quite some time. But if you want to be notified when I bring a new video on Brexit, for example, you will have to click this little bell when you subscribe to my channel to get a notification. I talked about this the whole day in every video because it's important, because I saw in the analytics how few notifications were going out for every video. So it's no wonder that people for some time now are telling me they didn't get the information that I was publishing videos again, especially after I got hacked and was gone for 2 weeks. But I am back. I'm working every day on the Carnival time now with tons of appointments on some side channels. There might be a little bit of video holidays, because I will do everything to do the videos for my 2 main channels, and the rest might take a holiday because there's so many appointments in Carnival here, and I'm the vice president of my club, so I have to go to a lot of appointments as well. But not always the drinking part, as some thought. For example, next week we will be appearing in 2 kindergartens. They are always happy when we come there with candy and with our Carnival uniforms. We will even have a children carnival in a church community, where we will be singing and dancing with the kids in our uniforms and throwing candy. Of course, that's always a part. Throwing candy for kids on Carnival is a big part here in Germany. And all those things are due at the moment. And next week will be, from Thursday to the next Wednesday, the main Carnival week of the time. It officially starts on November 11th, and the Carnival season goes until Ash Wednesday, and because then it all ends. And but the main part of it is the week from next Thursday to Ash Wednesday. And there will be a lot of things also in city center, where thousands of people will gather just for the capturing of the city hall, as we call it. And also on Rose Monday, that's the Monday afterwards, there will be hundreds of thousands of people here, because there will be a long track of carnival trucks with special decorations. Ours will have a political motto again, and from those trucks, people, they throw candies and other things to the people that are waiting there, and there will be hundreds of thousands, even if in my city there's only 300,000 inhabitants. You have to think about that. But that is the biggest day of Carnival, and I will be there for my... You don't need to understand German to get it, but there is, on my German channel, there is one video from the last Rose Monday track that happened because of the pandemic. We didn't have it for 2 years, and I will definitely film this year again and put it on my German channel. So if you're interested, have a look there. There's a playlist that just says Carnival, and there is Rosenmontag, is Rose Monday, and just click it. You don't need to understand what I'm saying, but you can see what's going on in the city. So just have a look, and definitely I'll be back here on this channel tomorrow morning, but don't forget to click the little bell so YouTube will notify you that I'm back with the next video. And I'll see you there. I'll be back.